Have you ever wondered what happened to the Nazis after World War II? While the Nuremberg trials brought some high-ranking officials to justice, thousands simply vanished. Where did they go? For many, the answer lies thousands of miles away, across the Atlantic, in the welcoming arms of South America, particularly Argentina. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a dark and complex chapter of history that we're going to unfold today. After the fall of the Third Reich, a network of clandestine escape routes, famously known as Ratlines, sprang into action. These weren't just a few desperate men sneaking across borders. This was a sophisticated operation. Sympathetic clergymen within the Catholic Church, corrupt government officials, and a web of spies worked together to create a pipeline for fugitives. They provided false identities, travel documents, and safe passage, their destination. Often the seemingly distant and safe shores of Argentina. Why Argentina? To understand this, we need to look at the political climate of the time. Juan Perón, who rose to power in 1946, was an admirer of European fascist movements. His government wasn't just turning a blind eye, it was actively complicit. Perón's regime saw these German and Austrian immigrants, many of whom were skilled engineers, scientists, and military strategists, as valuable assets. He believed they could help modernize Argentina's military and industrial sectors, transforming the nation into a regional powerhouse. It was a calculated political move, but one with deep moral consequences. So how many Nazis actually made it to Argentina? The numbers are staggering. Historians estimate that as many as 5,000 former Nazis and their collaborators found refuge there. This wasn't a small hidden group. They formed communities, like the one in the picturesque town of Bariloche, nestled in the Andes, which bore an uncanny resemblance to an alpine village. Here, they lived relatively openly, running businesses, raising families, and integrating into Argentine society, all while hiding their monstrous pasts in plain sight. These weren't just low-level soldiers. We're talking about some of the most notorious figures of the Holocaust. Men like Adolf Eichmann, one of the chief architects of the final solution, and Joseph Mengele, the infamous Angel of Death from Auschwitz. For years they lived under aliases, blending in. Eichmann worked at a Mercedes-Benz factory under the name Ricardo Clement. Mengele, after a stint in Argentina, moved to Paraguay and Brazil, evading capture for the rest of his life. The presence of such high-profile war criminals highlights the shocking extent of Argentina's role as a safe haven. The influence of these fugitives went beyond just finding a place to hide. Their presence had a tangible impact on Argentine society and policy. The technical expertise they brought was channeled into state-run projects. Some historians argue that their ideology seeped into certain military and political circles, reinforcing authoritarian tendencies that would surface in Argentina's own dark periods of dictatorship later on. This wasn't just about harboring individuals. It was about absorbing, to some degree, the very skills and mentalities that had fueled the Nazi war machine. It's a chilling reminder of how dangerous ideologies can persist and spread, even after their source has been defeated. For decades, this dark secret was largely an open one, whispered about but rarely confronted on a national level. The turning point came in 1960. In a daring operation that reads like a spy thriller, agents from Israel's intelligence agency, the Mossad, tracked down Adolf Eichmann in a suburb of Buenos Aires. They abducted him off the street and smuggled him to Israel to stand trial. The world watched, captivated, as the horrors of the Holocaust were recounted in detail during his televised trial. Eichmann's capture and subsequent execution was a seismic event. It shattered the illusion of impunity for Nazi criminals and forced Argentina to confront its past. The news sent shockwaves through the country and the world, exposing the extent to which Argentina had become a sanctuary for perpetrators of genocide. For the first time, there was a public reckoning. It sparked a national conversation and put immense international pressure on the Argentine government to be more transparent and cooperative in hunting down other fugitives. The legacy of this period is complex and continues to be debated. Following the Eichmann affair and the return to democracy in the 1980s, Argentina began to slowly open its archives. Successive governments made efforts to declassify documents and acknowledge the state's complicity. This process of historical reckoning is crucial. It's about more than just bringing criminals to justice. It's about a nation confronting an uncomfortable truth about its history, understanding why these choices were made, and ensuring such a thing can never happen again. It's a painful but necessary step towards healing and accountability. The story of the Nazis in Argentina is a powerful lesson about justice, complicity, and the long, difficult road to confronting historical truths. It shows us that the aftermath of war is never simple and that the shadows of the past can stretch for decades, affecting generations. By studying this dark journey, we remind ourselves of the importance of vigilance and the moral courage required to hold power accountable, ensuring that never again is not just a slogan but a promise we actively work to uphold. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into a crucial, yet often overlooked, part of post-war history. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this. We'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.